Okay, so we have a 48-inch Bedslide. This is the Bedslide 1000 CL, and this is for full-size trucks. The length fits my Tacoma, but the width is too wide. See, my end-to-end in the wheel wells is 42 inches, so I'm going to cut it down to 41 just to be clear there. So if you can see, we have two cuts that's going to be made. We already made the cut ends on this just little piece of metal. You can see actually where I cut off this end here. Very easy. It was 3.5 inches on each side. The side rails, these aluminum rails, it's actually right here. Those actually came off very easily. I believe it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts. 8 bolts all the way around. Very easy. It's a common Allen key too. So those are very simple. Then we have this bracket. This bracket's going to mount normally in there. We don't have to trim any of the bracket down. It's just going to mount right back into the truck. So this should be a one-step. We do the cut, and we should be looking good. So we'll see what is going on the next step. As you can see, the slide itself is only made of what appears to be like corrugated plastic. So it's a breeze to cut through. You don't have to worry about even cutting into the bracket because the bracket doesn't start, but let's see, maybe a foot in or 6 inches in from the actual board itself. So you got a good 6 inches from either side if you want to trim this down. You could do the same thing for the lengthwise as well. Okay, now we have both sides chopped off. Now we're going to disassemble this, and all we need is this bar and the bottom bar. So we're going to undo this, and we're just going to take 7 inches off each one of these, and that is going to allow us, if you see how it's designed, it's literally just a bar. So we just take 7 inches off on one end, boom, shoot them in the middle, and that's how we get this around there. All right, so now we cut 7 inches off this one, and we cut 7 inches off the other board. Here we go, the other metal piece of metal. And now the width of the metal is cut. And now we just gotta put all the metal piece back together, and we'll see what that looks like. All right, so now we have everything measured up. We have everything set in. And now we're going through and mounting the aluminum back on. Everything came out really well. I mean, I don't think this took us about an hour so far to do this modification. The hardest part, I think, was just measuring, and that took maybe 10 minutes to measure. And we did 2 cuts, and the metal was easy. We just took a sawzall, everything, all the metal parts. The end here, you have to cut down in order to shore it up. That we use a sawzall. The aluminum we use a sawzall, and that's just one blade. And it cut like butter. So overall, here's this step. We're going to show you the next step of it hopefully mounted in the truck. All right, so we're now have it mounted. Very easy actually mounting in the Tacoma. We got 5 bolts in there total. If we were doing like motocross or anything like that, having some heavy equipment or something in here, then we would use the extra and maybe put 7 bolts in here. But I think 5 is completely sufficient for what we have. So now that we got it mounted, we didn't actually have to worry about drilling into anything. The only one that was kind of iffy was the top left one there. And that got a little close to, I believe, the top of the fuel tank. But it had plenty of room, probably a good 6 inches before it even hit it. And then you just had to weasel your hand back in there to hold the nut. And we got it all bolted on. So now we just got to put this onto that. Final step here. All right, here's the final product. We have the Bedslide 1000 CL inside the Tacoma. Again, I think this turned out really nice. This is a good little project. It didn't take, I think, entirety, maybe 3 hours to do everything. Maybe across, if you did it all in one setting, maybe you could do 2.5. But the toughest part really was just measuring everything. That was the most time-consuming part. We'd measured it, put that tape down, and just cut along the edges. And then we just cut that bar using a Sawzall. Then we mounted everything back up and just did the normal mounting inside the truck, and it's all looking good. I mean, it looks like really OEM, like you bought it like this. So I think this is the most affordable and effective way to do a Bedslide if you get it cheap enough on Marketplace. You can take basically any of them, even if it's longer than what you need, as long as the metal plate under there is short enough. You can actually even get a longer one. Let's say you have a 5-foot bed and the Bedslide 6 foot, you can cut it down and then cut it down the sides if needed. Just make sure you check the metal mounting plate on the bottom. So again, $400 all in, and I have a Bedslide that fits a Tacoma. So very good value. Hope you guys like it. Thank you guys so much. You have a good one.